You are a sales professional and you want some networking event ideas. Have you ever said, I need to know how to network effectively at a networking event. I don't know what to do at a Chamber of Commerce mixer. I go to networking events and I never get anything out of it. Well, in this networking masterclass, we're going to cover that and a whole lot more coming up. Everyone, is Rick Silva with One Referral Away at Gmail, One Referral Away at YouTube, and OneReferralAway.com. I'm here to teach you how to build a referral-based practice so you don't ever have to cold call, door knock, or work with cold leads. So everyone, this is a masterclass. This is everything you need to know about going to evening time chamber mixers and business networking events. It's a long video because there's hundreds of pieces of information here. So grab a coffee, grab your lunch, grab a pen and paper. Let's go to the training.
Okay, ready? Look at Power Partners. Ask yourself this question. It's a very important question. Ask yourself this question. Who do I sell to? What is the title of the person I sell to? Who do I sell to and or what is the title? Now, I don't want company names here. I want titles of the people in the companies that you sell to. If you sell to individuals, you sell to homeowners, you sell to homeowners. That's their title, homeowner. We need to write down who you sell to. Renters. If you sell to homeowners, great. If you sell to renters, great. Write it down. You should be able to come up with 20. I'm asking you for 4. Just 4. Look up when you have them so I know. Who do you sell to? What's their title? CTO, CFO, CIO, unemployed, renter, homeowner. See, question number 2, this is the master key. There's a reason we're doing this. There's 2 reasons. Number 1, you need to know who your power partners are, number 1. Number 2, when you go to networking events and I tell you you're going to go there and help people, which we're getting to, you're going to say, well, how am I going to help them? You're going to help them because you're going to teach them this. Number 2 is who else sells to them but does not sell what I sell. So every one of those people you wrote down, every one of those titles, there are other people that sell to those people complementary services to you. They don't sell what you sell, but they sell to the same exact person. If you guys are looking at me and not writing, you're confused. If you're confused, ask me. All you have to do is name a title. If you're confused, name the title and I'll help you. So no one's confused and everybody's writing because no one wants to ask. Everybody have 5? Should be able to name 30. I'm asking for only 5, so put an asterisk. You got to name a whole bunch outside of here. If you sell to the, people say, well, I sell to the CEO, the CTO, the Chief Technology Officer, and great, what do you sell? Telecom. Who else sells them? I don't know. Nobody sells to them. I go, oh, okay. Software vendors don't sell to them. Who sells them the computers? Who sells them the networking gear? There's a lot of people that sell to them. The CEO, somebody's doing his payroll. Somebody's doing his insurance. You guys see where we're going? When you write down the 1 through 5, does everybody have 5? If you don't, ask for help. I'll give them to you. Everybody have 5? Anybody not have 5? I spend 20% of my time here, 20% of my time here, 80% of my time here. So while a lot of people spend their whole life doing this, and they constantly have to look for the next sale and the next sale and the next sale and the next sale, I just need to look for the next relationship. While they're trying to make a sale, I'm sitting here, and if this is a financial advisor, a trusted financial advisor of that client, and that client says, I want to cash a 401k and buy a house. Do you have a mortgage broker yet? Because the first thing you do is need to get pre-qualified. Do you have a mortgage broker yet? No, I don't. Well, I happen to know a really good one. Give him a call. Do you think what's the chances of him not using that financial, that you as a broker? It's a very slim chance because you're referred by the trusted advisor. I maintain these relationships. I don't need to know anything about selling. Everybody came last month. You don't need any of that if you have this built. I don't use any of the techniques I showed you guys last month or the ledge or any of that stuff anymore because the people that are calling me, if you're doing business with Jim, I have to do business with you. There's no selling involved in that. You guys see where we're going with this? When you establish this, tons of selling here. Very little, if any, selling here. They're ready to go. This is where I spend 80% of my time. It's very important. Reciprocity. You see the first one on the list? Follow me, Jim. I don't want to lose you. See Carla? Carla's going to give me a hug. Thank you, Carla. Good to see you. Okay, I'm going slow so Jim can follow me. What did I give? If I look at Rao, look at Rao smiling, waving at me, just from smiling. Okay, so what did I give? I gave a hug, what I get back. Give a handshake, what I get back. I give a smile, what I get back. What's the last one on the list? Leads and referrals. Holy cow, you mean to tell me, I have to give leads and referrals before I get any? I just want leads and referrals to come to me. Wrong, 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 wrong. You have to give to get. Law of reciprocity says you have to give to get.
Hey, thanks for watching this far. If you're getting value out of the video, please hit the like and subscribe button because it would really help the channel. If you'd like to see more videos like this, just comment down below. Let me know what topics you'd like me to cover. Back to the training.
Next page. How do I dress? People say, Rick, how do I dress when I go to events? And my response is, how do you want them to perceive you as a business person? How do you want others to perceive you as a business professional? That's what you have to ask yourself. Instead of asking me, Rick, how should I dress? My barometer is wherever I go, I have to be here or above. I can't be here or below. I have to be here or above. I have to be the best dressed person in the room if I'm supposed to be the authority on networking. If I go to a seminar, that speaker better be better dressed than me. And if I'm going to go on a sales call, I better be better dressed than my client, or equal. Better be. What are the first 3 things people look at when you first meet them? The first 3 things. They're very specific things. Very specific things. You ready? Number 1, if you're wearing them, glasses. If you're wearing them, number 1 is glasses if you're wearing them. If you're wearing them. So by default, if you're not wearing them, number 2 is number 1. Your shoes. What's number 3? People will judge you on how serious of a business person you are by what he's tapping. Then I don't know what number 4 is. You got me. It's your clothing. It's your clothing, and then down the line. Primarily glasses, shoes, and your watch. Primarily. People will judge you as a business person based on those 3 things. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. They're going to judge you on a lot of other things too, which we're going to get to too. The halo effect. Has anybody ever heard of the halo effect before? The halo effect is you are treated by how you look. So I have friends and colleagues and relatives that sometimes they wear the baggy pants with the hat turned sideways, and then no one waits on them in a store and they wonder why. I had an instance right down the street. There's a jewelry store, and I won't name it, but it's not that far from here. I went there in jeans and a baseball hat, and nobody approached me. And it upset me because I was in an industry where I was making about $15,000 a month at the time. And just because I was wearing jeans and a t-shirt doesn't mean I couldn't afford anything in the store. I could afford anything in that store at the time. So I went there about a month later after one of my leads groups dressed like this, and 3 people were fighting to talk to me. It was the halo effect. They treat you how you look, and they treat you how you act too. So if you want to get treated better, look better, act better. What side is my name badge on? See, I cover it up, and then people go, I can't remember. Can't remember what side he had it on. I'm trying to cheat. Okay, name badge is on the right. So is that there as a question? Yes, wear it on the right. See it under name badge? Wear it on the right. So write that in there, wear it on the right. Now, I did a seminar, and Kelly was there. And some people, I expected the whole room to do it, but some people went moving their name badges. Here's why it should be on the right. Jim, get ready to go. Ready to go, Jim? Because Bill Hall saw me last month at a mixer. In a month, Bill forgot my name, and my name badge is over here. Bill, how you doing? Good to see you. Bill forgot my name. Where'd my name badge go? That's embarrassing for him. I'm trying to make it comfortable for him. So when I go to shake your hand, I'm going to do this. Hi, Mr. Camera. I'm going to do this for the camera. Mr. Camera, how are you? Good to see you. Where did my name badge go? I can't even pick it up. But what went in their face? So then I get the wise guy, and I have the comeback for it. The wise guy says I'm left-handed. My response is, what hand do you shake with? Okay, and then when he says I'm left-handed, what is he telling me? That he's selfish. He's telling me he's selfish. I'm left-handed, so it should go over here. I don't care if it's uncomfortable for Bill, and Bill doesn't remember my name. I don't want him to be able to glance down and see my name badge. I'm left-handed. I'm going to put it here. Then I don't care if Bill is uncomfortable or not. We want networking events to be very, very comfortable. I want to be approachable. The next one is, what should the name badge say? Unless you're really well known, and your company name's pretty well known, I'm very well branded in the 680 corridor. I can get away with a little bit more than you guys might be able to get away with. Mine has my name and my company name. My slogan is what I do. My company name's pretty well known. I'm pretty well known by this time at the mixers. But a year ago, this isn't what I would wear. If I worked for Farmers Insurance and you put Farmers there, nobody cares. Nobody cares. And I always use the mortgage broker and real estate one as an example. Mine would say, if I was a real estate agent or mortgage broker, mine would say, Rick Silva, I make dreams come true. Hi, Rick. How are you going to make my dreams come true? It's very interesting. You should ask. I helped a person refinance their home and flushed them with $200,000, and they started a business they've wanted to start for 20 years. That's making somebody's dreams come true. You write down Rick, mortgage broker, or Rick, Diablo Funding, or Rick, XYZ, or Rick, Bank of America. Nobody cares. That's a feature. It's not a benefit. I make people's dreams come true is a benefit. Oh, he's going to make my dream come true. Wow. So mine's going to say what I do. Mine's not going to say, mine might say, if I was a photographer, for instance, mine might say photographer, Rick Silva photographer, but I'm going to go into just come up with something catchy, something that's going to get them to say, what do you get the conversation going, as opposed to just saying what it is. Here's what happened at networking events. If you talk yourself out of business by putting your company name, people go, I don't like that company. They might like you, but you're already getting yourself out of them even approaching. Because when I go to an event, first thing I do is I look at the name badges and figure out where I'm going to go. I met a lady as a piano instructor because it didn't say it on her name badge. I don't want to network with a piano instructor. But had it said that, I might have picked and choose, but to her advantage, having said that, there are people that want to talk to her, I pick and choose. But if it has a company that I don't like or that I don't do business with, I will never approach that person. But it should be because of who you are, not because of who you work for. You have to put benefits Mine says where people gather to make business happen. That's what mine says right there. People look at that and they go, people gather and business happens. What do you do? Kind of cool. Name badges say something. Now mine, people laugh at me. It's magnetic, so it doesn't ruin my clothes. About $100 for 2 of these. It's laser etched. Things are going to last longer than me. About $100 for 2 name badges. Here's what you can do if you don't do it. Go to a networking event and get one of those big stickers and write your name on it. And every 5 minutes you would pick it up off the ground. Yeah, I know, but I got microphones all over, Kelly. Try not to hit the mic. Slam. And I don't want to hit this either and rip my coat. So you're going to be sticking. So last night I'm at the Pleasanton event. I'm talking to a guy. We're having a conversation. I put my hand on his chest. We're talking a little bit more. I'm just doing it. And I finally said, you should get one of these. It's pretty embarrassing when you're walking along and somebody steps on your name badge and pull your name badge off the bottom of the shoe. You might want to think about getting a name badge that is a little bit more professional. So let's talk about real quick about goals walking into the room. You need to have goals before you get to the event. So these are the things that I ask myself, or I say to myself. Do you see where it says goals walking in the room? How many cards am I going to collect? This is what I track in Excel. I have an Excel spreadsheet. How many cards am I going to collect? What's the name of the event? And ultimately the number of appointments I got from being there. Even though I'm not setting the appointment at the event. I am not setting the appointment at the event. Make that very clear. The number of leads and referrals I gave, that was not at the event either. And the number of leads and referrals I ultimately received from that event. So my numbers for mixers are 12 cards an hour. 12 business cards an hour. I'm going to show you exactly step by step how to do it. People say, that's nothing. I get 18. I've had somebody tell me she gets 20 an hour. Do you guys realize 20 an hour is 1 every 3 minutes? It's not possible. It's not possible. Unless you're just running around the room grabbing cards. And no one's going to know who you are or respect you if you're just doing that. 12 cards an hour is my average. People in here, you guys should be, when you leave here, you should be in the 6 to 8 range, working your way up to 10 to 12. 10 to 12 cards an hour. If you want to know how many you get, you got the cards here, your cards. The cards you collect go here. Now, I had somebody else tell me the cards of the people that just seemed like you just never want to do business with them. I'm not condoning this. I'm just telling you what somebody I know does. They get a card from somebody and maybe they didn't like that person. The person came on too strong or whatever. That card goes here. And he goes, once in a while I'll meet somebody that I just don't click with them. And I'll give them that other person's card. I don't do that. All the cards go here in this pocket. All the cards go here for follow-up later. My card here, cards I collect here. Go to an event, look at your clock. I was there for 2 hours and I got 8 cards. Well, guess how many that is an hour? 4 cards an hour. It's not good. We're there to do business. We're there to do business, not to eat and to hang out. We're there to do business. Mixers are once a month. We're there to collect cards and ultimately do business with people. So I wrote the event name and we went through all of that. So I average, this is average, that I make around $600 every time I go to a networking event. You guys see me at a mixer making $600 that night. So there are times when maybe I'm not in the mood to put a suit on and go. But $600 for 2 hours and a little bit of free food. I eat the food in the beginning. We're going to get into that. But a little bit of free food and $600, that's a nice return. I'll take it. Let's talk about the mentality of working a room. Do you see that where it says mentality of working a room? Get ready to write. This is very, very important. I say this to myself as I'm getting out of my car. I am going to see who knows the rest. I am going to see how many people I can help tonight. I get out of my car. I'm going to this event. I'm going to see how many people I can help. Notice I didn't say I'm going to see how many people, how many appointments I can get, how many sales I can make, how many people I can verbally throw up on, how many brochures I can throw around the room, how many people I can help. And you're all saying now, how am I going to help them? You'll find out. The next little bullet point there says, show up early and stay late. If you're going for the food, get there early and eat it because it'll be hotter anyway and fresher. And get that done. And after you're done eating, go to the bathroom and check your teeth. And now we're ready to network. And I don't care if you go there and eat or not, you don't ever have both hands full. No one is going to approach you. You're going to miss business opportunities. People are going to go, that guy's busy eating. I'm not going to talk to him now. Everything's in one hand, only one hand. And never have both hands filled. Below, show up early and stay late. Do you see those 5 spaces? I know this to be fact. It's just human nature that when we go to these events, we're going there, not all of us when we leave here, and not me, but the general public is going there to tell everybody they meet about what they do. And I'm going to tell you right now, get ready to write, grab your pen. And I want you to think this because this is 99.9% true. No one cares about me. So when somebody walks up to me and goes, Rick, how are you? What do you do? Why'd they ask me that question? I'll repeat that for the microphone. If somebody asks me, Rick, what do you do? They're asking me because they don't know what else to say, because it's an icebreaker and they can't wait to start talking about themselves. It's funny, but my analogy of this is when somebody asks me what I do, the second they say, Rick, what do you do? Ever remember Charlie Brown? And all they hear is wah, 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 while they're thinking in their mind, oh boy, he's telling me what he does. As soon as he's done, I'm gonna tell him what I do. And I can't forget to tell him about that class that I'm giving and wah, 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 wah. And what do you do? Oh, it's my turn to talk. Wow. Here's what I do. They didn't hear a word you said. Because of that, we're going to throw a little curveball. Because when somebody asks me what I do, I throw them a curveball. Before we get to that, do you see where it says the new radio station? That radio station playing in everyone's head is WIIFM. What's that station? What's in it for me? Write that down. What's in it for me? Everybody's thinking, what's in it for me? This is what Rick gets all the time. I don't go to networking events because I don't get anything out of it. What did you give? What did you give? You don't get anything out of it because you gave nothing. So it's what's in it for me. Food and drink, we briefly discussed. Do not ever go to an event. I wish Alice was here. Drink red wine. Forget it. You're going to get bumped, as happened last night, in the elbow, and you're going to be wearing that red wine. And then that $600 that I make at every event, I lost money. So I don't drink any alcohol when I go to events, but if I do, it's a beer, never wine, because I don't want to ruin my clothes. You are going to get bumped. You are going to get bumped. So I don't think you should drink wine at events. I think you should have a little bit of food, and then we're ready to rock and roll. It's not a wine social. Okay, so I'm pretty firm on the food thing, that we're there to do business, not to eat food. The next one is I have a gentleman that I know that uses this technique on me, and he acts as a host. Do you see that? Act as a host. This is for those of you that are nervous about going to events. So Jim's going to follow me. Okay. So I'm at a networking event, and I'm really nervous because I don't know anyone. And here's the registration table right here. Okay, and here's the people walking into the event. I know a guy that does this everywhere I go, and I'll tell you what he does to me. But I want you to imagine people coming into an event. They go up to the registration table. I'm going to stand right here next to the registration table. And after they register, Larry, good to see you. I appreciate you coming. Jim, good to see you. I appreciate you coming. And I'm going to stand by that registration table, and I'm going to say hi to 20 or 30 people. What do they think I am? What's that say? The host. When I stand there and do that to 20 or 30 people, all I did was say, hi, thanks for coming. They think I own the place. So in about 20 minutes of that, when I walk into the event, do people think that I work there and run the place and then maybe approach me because I could be somebody important? So that's one way to get to know people. Now, this gentleman that does this to me, it took me a year to figure out what he was doing, because then I read it in a book, and then I reversed it on him, and he got upset because I finally figured out what he was doing. He would walk up to me anywhere I went, any event in the 680 corridor, anywhere I saw him. Rick, I'm really glad you're here. I appreciate you coming and taking your time to being here. He doesn't work for the chamber. He doesn't work for the person that put this event on. He was acting because he's insecure. Primarily why he does it, or he's nervous. He still does it. I know he's not nervous anymore. It's just a habit now. You can be more confident at events if you act as a host. Introduce others. If you're really nervous about going to an event, bring somebody with you. Introduce each other. So I'll go with my friend Mike. And if I'm nervous, I'll walk up to somebody and go, Trina, good to see you. This is my friend Mike. Good to see you. This is my friend Mike. He's a real estate agent. And then Mike will go, yeah, and this is my friend Rick. He's a mortgage broker or whatever. And introduce each other and have a little bit of fun with it. And then you won't be so nervous. Under business cards, the types of cards and how to use your cards. And I'm an order taker. We're going to get into the last two in a few minutes. But the types of cards, I'm looking to see your cards. If you have a card, here's mine. Mine is UV protected on one side. I did not put a coating on the back side, because if I put a coating on the back side, people can't write on it. You're doing yourself a disservice if you have black on the back. So don't pull your card out now and notice you got black, and I'm not trying to embarrass anyone, okay? I want to make this very clear. I am not trying to embarrass anyone when I point out what I'm about to point out, because I'm going to point out a couple other things too. But on the back of your card, if people can't write on it, how are they going to take notes? So that's important. So if it's really dark, you're doing yourself a disservice. And if it's coated, you're doing yourself a disservice. There's a lot of cards I go like that, and there's nothing there because you can't write on it. For those of you just recently in business, you just started in business, you're kind of trying to feel things out, okay? I'll tell you right now, when you go to Office Depot and you get those sheets and you print them on your printer at home, when I grab a card and I feel the indentions on the sides, I know it was done on your printer at home. You're going to lose some credibility. I'm just telling you right now. You're going to damage your business credibility printing them at home. The other thing that's going to damage you is on the back of the card. Let me pull out another one because I wrote on that one. On the back of the card, and I turn it over, and there's a sentence right here, because I know you got those off the internet for free. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying you're going to lose business over time. So what you do is, if you just started in business, with your first sale, don't eat, don't pay your rent. Go get some business cards that were printed professionally, not with the perforations on the sides. Because I look at a card, somebody hands me a card, my finger's feeling perforations. I think this guy's brand new. He's not serious. I don't know where he's going. But when he gets normal cards, I'll do business with him. That's just a fact of life. And Kelly was shaking his head at me because I know he's agreeing with me. It's going to damage your credibility. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying it's just a reality. You're going to damage your credibility. People just do not know. And if it's the writing on the back, I know you got them for free, and that's a promotional thing, and they're very inexpensive, and you can download the graphics and stuff and print it at home. My advice on cards. How to use them, and I'm an order taker we're going to get to. You are now going to craft, and we don't have a lot of time for this, so you're going to do it quickly. I'm going to teach you how to craft your 8, your 30, and your 60-second elevator speeches. Now, before we do, where it says 8, 30, and 60-second elevator speeches, go right after the word speeches and grab your pen and write down 30, and then have a bit of a space and write down the number 1, have a little bit of space and write down the number 2. There's not a person in here that shouldn't have already in their repertoire 8 second, 30 second, 60 second, would you just write down 30 minute, 1 hour, and 2 hour you could do on what you do for a living that quick. What I do is I time everything so I know how long each section of one of my presentations takes, and I write it down. Somebody says, Rick, I'd like you to come and speak for an hour. I show them all the topics, and they mark, I want you to talk about this, this, and this. I go in Microsoft Word, I pull it all up, I start to cut and paste until you guys don't have this on yours. This is Rick's cheat sheet. This is how I know how I get my talks done on time. You want an hour? I'm just going to keep cutting and pasting until this column equals an hour, and I got my hour. And I've done the presentations on all of these topics, so I don't have to prepare. I've already done the preparation. I'll do this talk 100 more times. I will not prepare for it because I've already done it. I have it. I know how long it needs to be. It's done. You need to have that. Because somebody sometime is going to call you up and say, I'm in my Rotary group, we lost our speaker. You have an opportunity to speak an hour on what you do, and you're going to say, I'm not prepared. You just missed an opportunity to talk to 100 business people. That's sad. If you're here doing what you do for a living, are you not an authority on it? Is there anybody who does something for a living that's not an authority on what they do? You better become one, right? Bill Hall is authority on franchises because that's what he does for a living. So if you do it for a living, you better have 8, 30, 60, 30 minute, 1 hour, 2 hour on what you do. I mean, easy. I can do 10, 15 hours on networking. If you wanted it tomorrow, just tell me where to be. I'm in my leads groups and I go, Jim and Sally, 5-minute presentations next month. Nobody sees the looks because I'm looking at them and everybody else is doing something else. Jim and Sally, 5-minute presentations next month. Why are you picking on me? What? That's a time for you to promote yourself. I'm not picking on you. I'm giving you an opportunity. You have to take advantage of it. Now, that said, I want you all to think about what you do for a living. Think about what you do. I'm going to make you a promise. The person's either doing it now or did it. So don't try to call me on this because it's a 99% fact what I'm about to tell you. The highest paid people in your industry, I don't care what business you're in, they speak, they do seminars, and they teach. And a lot of them do it for free. Because whether you guys believe it or not, whether it's true or not, I think that I'm one of the top 5 networkers in the nation. Now, whether it's true or not, I'm here, right? So somebody believes me or you guys wouldn't have been here. And I did it through a lot of reading, a lot of research, and doing this, and then telling people. That leads me to something, by the way. I'm disappearing for a second. Y'all know who Les Brown is? Motivational speaker, one of the top 5 or 6, maybe the top 10 motivational speakers. Everybody see this? In the whole wide world. Who's that? That's me. Getting back to writing down your goals briefly. Goals. I wrote down in one of my affirmations, I'm a very highly paid and successful public speaker. I told you guys this story. I wrote down on a Wednesday. On a Thursday, I meet Kevin Lynch. Kevin, what do you do? I promote public speakers. Really, I'm going to be a big-time public speaker someday. Really, what do you talk about? Networking. I'm one of the foremost authorities of it in the country. Really. I have an event coming. Calls me the next day. I wrote my affirmation on a Wednesday. I met him on Thursday. He calls me on Friday. Let's go to lunch. I'm interested in asking you if you'd like to be the MC of the event. I said, wow. We meet on a Monday. He asks a couple other people about me. We talk. He goes, I don't want you to be the MC of the event. Would you be one of the speakers at the event? Now, I had a guy come up to me who was wearing a Rolex, and I was standing in line after my talk to get a little quick sandwich because I was exhausted from a 10-minute talk, if you can believe it. There was 700 people there. And I'm getting a sandwich, and we were talking, and he looks at me, and he goes, if I had your money, I wouldn't need mine. The guy's wearing a Rolex. I'm not wearing a Rolex. I don't know what his net worth is. He doesn't know what mine is. But why did he say that? Because I was on stage and he wasn't. I was the recognized authority, whether I am or not. I'm speaking so people believe I'm an authority. If I write a book on the topic, I'm a recognized authority, whether I am or not. You guys see where we're going with this? You guys want to get very highly paid. You do little seminars here and there, and then people go, that's the guy. That's the guy. And who's going to tell me I'm not? Who's going to tell me I'm not one of the top 5 or 6 authorities in the country? If you're going to tell me I'm not, you have to show me how I'm not. And then so I can say it, and I know I'm doing okay. So getting back to our 8, 30, and 60, I'm going to give you a general outline of how to craft this. But what it is, it says right there, what is an elevator speech? It's an audio logo. It's a short soundbite that succinctly and memorably introduces me. It makes a lasting first impression, showcases my professionalism, and allows me to position myself. I had lunch with somebody today and he said, I'm doing really well in my practice as a financial advisor. I'm doing really well in practice. I don't want to take clients anymore that have less than $100,000 to invest. Because during his introduction, he says, I'm such and such with ABC Company. I specialize in helping people that have just recently been laid off rolling their 401ks over, or if they're not happy with their current advisor, and that's how he leaves it. He goes, now I don't want to work with anybody less than 100,000. Guess what? I'm such and such with ABC Company. I specialize in high net worth individuals with at least $100,000 worth of investable assets. Then he's now rebranded himself. Now he's looking for people that have more money. Okay, so when it says it allows you to position yourself, you position yourself anywhere you want. Now they talk about in marketing, you need to test. Go to a networking event, introduce yourself one way, go to another one, introduce yourself another way. And if people go, that's kind of cool, and then your next introducer go, wow, that is, guess what? Well, you guess which one now you're going to be using. Test everything. Change the little words. How do I craft it? You ready? There's some space on the right, space on the left. I don't care where you write it, but write down your name and your company name. When we're done with this, you're going to have your 60-second. Write down your name and your company name. And then where it says, what do I offer? That's what you do. My name is Rick Silva, and I have leads groups. That's Rick Silva with B2B Gathering, and I run 11 different networking groups. That's who I am and what I do. Do you see that? Who I am and what I do. Now guess what? Those three things, who I am, who I work for, and what I do, guess what? Nobody cares because it's a feature. Nobody cares who you work for, who you are, and what you do. What's the radio station? What's in it for me? So far, you've not told them anything about what it is for them. So far, they don't care. Wow, you work, that's your name, cool. You work for who? Wow. And you do mortgages, whoa. I met 50 of those tonight so far. You haven't said what you do that's different or what exactly you do. So the next one is, what problem do others have that I can solve? Now, there's not a person in this room that doesn't solve a problem, because you wouldn't have a job or a business unless it solves a problem. My problem solver, my networking groups that help people build their business through word of mouth marketing. There is a problem that you solve, write it down. Write down the biggest pain that your client has and how you solve it. My client's biggest problem is Mr. Hom, Steve Harm Insurance. My last insurance, companies come to me because they work with a rinky-dink insurance company. Their house burns down. It takes them 500 years to send an adjuster out. Or I get in a car accident and I don't even know what number to call to get my car fixed. Steve's specialty is adjusters are out there right away, and or toll-free 24-hour a day, 7-day a week helpline for if you have any questions or if you get in a car accident. That's what makes me different. Timely customer service, as opposed to, so you guys have a problem that you solve. That's part of your 60-second introduction. So if I'm a mortgage broker, going back to that, because I do a lot of training with real estate agents and mortgage brokers. My name is Rick Silva with XYZ Company, and I'm a mortgage broker. And people think, wow, so is my next door neighbor, and the people live across the street from me, and the 10 people I just met at the networking event. But my name is Rick Silva with ABC Company, and I'm a mortgage broker, and I help people's dreams come true. Do you see that? What makes me unique? Or what's the other problems that I have that I can solve? I make people's dreams come true. I do that through refinancing people's homes into maybe a better interest rate, paying off some higher interest debt, flushing them with some cash, so then they can go buy properties, buy businesses, loan the money out at a higher rate than the loan is, whatever they want to do. And I helped somebody start a business. They wanted to have that business for 20 years. They didn't know how to do it. I showed them how to do it, leveraging the asset in their home. That's how I made their dream come true. Very cool. I'm a mortgage broker, and we have great rates. So does my next door neighbor. You got to be a little more creative, guys. I don't care what it is you do. I don't care if there's only 2 people in the world that do what you do. You have to be creative. You have to make them go, it's kind of cool. How do you do that? You need to think of that. A good lead for me is, I erased it, but a good lead for me is, I'm going to say, if I'm a mortgage broker, my name is Rick Silva with ABC Company, and I'm a mortgage broker. I help people's dreams come true. One of the ways I do that is I help them refinance their home, start businesses, buy income properties. A good lead for me is anybody you know that doesn't think they can own a home because they have bad credit, or they currently own a home and they want to move up, move down, refinance the house, buy another home, and any financial advisors, CPAs, human resources consultants that you might know. So see, I went after both. Leads and power partners. We did both. That's my 60 if I'm a mortgage broker. So the 3 or 4 of you in here that are ones, you can thank me afterwards for doing that. But I don't care what it is that you do. There's a problem you solve, and you can tell them how you do it, and then you're going to tell them what a good lead is. There's your 8, 30, and 60. Now here's how it works. If it's an 8, it's 1 or 2 words on each topic. If it's a 30, it's a little bit more. If it's a 60, then you can vamp a little bit on each one. You got about 10 seconds on each one. So you need to blow them up. Do an 8. My name is Rick Silva. I run 11 different networking groups. I help business owners and self-employed people build their business through word-of-mouth marketing. And if it's longer, I just throw more words in there, and then more words, and I turn it into a presentation. What do we do? Now we're specifically, right now, from here on, It's exactly word for word what I do at a networking event, step by step. We're starting now, okay? What do I do when I go to a networking event? I never, get ready to write. It's very important. I never tell them what I do first. I never tell them what I do first. Why? Because no one cares about me. Since they don't care, why am I going to tell them what I do first? Because it's wah, 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 wah. When's it going to be done? Wah, wah, wah. So I can talk about me, because it's what's in it for me. I'm not there to hear about you. So I'm going to reverse that. I'm going to get you guys, when I'm done telling you this, how we do this, you guys are going to be on the edge of your seat listening to every word I say. I promise you. Let me back up for 1 second. When I go to a networking event a year ago, I'm standing in the corner. Jim, get ready to move the camera. When I walk into a networking event, here's Rick Silva a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Rick Silva now walks in, and I'm like this. Because I can't handle the amount of people that are approaching me, bringing people over to me, saw me on TV, saw me do a talk, have a question, pull me off to the side to ask me a personal business question. You'd be surprised what people tell me in a networking event. Rick, could you help me with blah, blah, blah? I'm really struggling. Could I go to lunch with you? It's amazing. Okay, I get attacked. I'm a honey. I'm covered in honey, and the bees pounce. If you don't believe it, tell me where you're going to go, and I'll go with you. As long as it's one of the events where I'm known, it happens. I did it using these techniques. Now, I know this. When I walk up to somebody, and Carla's going to ask me what I do. Are we there yet? Let me make sure. Yes, right now. Even though I don't have it scripted out, I'm going to tell you what I do and say. Carla's going to ask me what I do. I know she doesn't care. She's breaking the ice. She's not going to hear a word I say. So I'm never going to tell her what I do first. Ask me what I do.
Nice to meet you, Rick. What do you do?
Carla, I talk about myself all day long. I hate talking about myself. I come to these events to meet people like you and to find out what you do. Ready for the next step? You guys sure you're ready for the next step? Okay, so when I talk to her and I say, Carla, I never talk about myself first. I want to know what you do. There's something I'm going to do before I let her tell me. Ready? What do you do, Rick?
What do you do, Rick?
Carla, I talk about myself all day long. I hate talking about myself. I would like to know what you do. I'm here to learn about people like you. But before you tell me, would you happen to have a business card? Okay, I want you to watch this very closely. Jim, zoom in on my hand and we'll back up and do it again. I'm going to hold my card like this. See my hand? For the camera. I'm going to hold the card like this. This is a cool technique. You're going to do this and people are going to look at you like, and they're going to stand up straight. This guy's serious. Watch this. You ready? Carla's going to hand me her card. Would you happen to have a card? I take her card. I hand her mine. I take that card and I'm going to flip it. And now I work for Denny's. And I'm an order taker. Do you see under business cards, look up a couple lines. It says types of cards, how to use the cards, and I'm an order taker. You see that? Guess what I'm doing now? Carla, now, could you please tell me what you do? Carla's going to tell me what she does, and I'm taking notes. You know what's going to happen when you take somebody's card and you do this and you pull out a pen? They're going to freak out. They're going to go like this. Because normally they go, Rick, what do you do? And they go, well, you know, I do this, I do that. You pull out their card, flip it over like this. They're going to go, and they're going to look at you and they go, well, and they're going to go, well, here's what I do. And they're going to watch every word they say, and they're going to go blah, 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 and you're going to take very cool notes. Might ask them a couple cool questions. They're freaking out because nobody does this. This guy is actually writing down what I'm saying. He must care. Whether I do or don't, he must care, okay? I love doing this because people are just looking at me like, whoa. Somewhere in there, I'm going to ask this question. And this is the most important question that you will ever ask. This is the most important question you will ever ask when you meet someone. Remember I said, when you're going to an event, you're going there to see how many people you can help, right or wrong. We're going to fill this in, and you're going to go, well, I don't know how to do that. Yes, you do, because you're going to flip back 2 or 3 pages of the Power Partner technique. You guys already know how to figure yours out. You could figure anybody's out with that technique. You could help them figure it out. This is how you're going to help them. Watch this. Carla, Rick Silva, I never like to talk about myself. I want to know what you do, but before I do, would you happen to have a card? Take the card. She talks. That's very interesting. You do that. Wow, that's interesting. Get ready to write. I'm going to talk to Carla, but you guys, Carla, put your glasses on and get ready to write. Don't worry, because don't look at me. Just ready to write. Even though I'm talking to you, this is what you're going to say. I've done this about 5,000 times. I didn't have to look at it. Carla, if I were to introduce you to 3 different people in any industry that could help you build your business, what industries would they be in? Carla asked me what she did. I didn't want to tell her. I reversed it. Carla, what do you do? Took her card, wrote. That's very interesting, Carla. Carla, if I could introduce you to 3 people in any industry that could help you build your business, what industries would it be in? People are going to go like this. Well, I do get a lot of business from, and I'm a broker. I'm just going to use the broker's book because it's easy for the purposes of the seminar. Well, I do get a lot of business from real estate agents and financial advisors and CPAs. I'm going to write down FIN, CPA, and real estate. If they know them, 40% of the time they know them. 60% of the time, they don't. They're going to go, what do you mean? 3 people in the industry that can help me? Yeah, well, who do you sell to? You guys know how to do this. I gave it to you. Who do you sell to? They're going to go, well, CTO, CFO, CIO, and CEOs of companies. Great. Who else sells to them? Well, I'm in the healthcare industry. People that sell telecommunications, commercial movers. And they're going to get to about the third one. They're going to go CPAs, commercial movers, other insurance brokers, and they're going to look at you and go, that's cool. Thanks for the help. And they're going to freak out. They're going to go, I never thought about that. I never thought about who I actually get my business from. What did you just do? You helped them. The 40% of people that knew it, you forget about helping them because they already know. You're going to go, that's cool. Most people don't know that, but I'm impressed you know that. Now, if they didn't know it, you're going to go, well, I can help you. Who do you sell to? What do you mean? Well, is there a title of the person you sell to? Yeah, I sell to blah, blah. Great. Who else sells to them but doesn't sell what you sell? Well, great. Fantastic. Write those down. So if they gave them to you, have them written down. If they didn't know them, you help them. Either way, you're going to have them written down. The next thing you're going to say to them is, that's very interesting. I network a lot and I collect a lot of business cards. I know Bill and some of you do trade shows, and we're going to get into that in a minute. You guys should be collecting business cards, and you put them into a business card color card scanner, which we talked about 2 months ago. Good time to talk about this. There are 1,000 business cards in here. 1,000 business cards. You want to name an industry? I'll find it in 3 seconds. Why? Because it's in alphabetical order by industry. B is for bookkeeping. What do you guys want to find? Whatever you want. It's alphabetical order. F is for furniture and framing. And I bet Carla's card is probably right here somewhere. But when we flip through here, I is for insurance and investing. You know where we're going with this? There's 1,000 cards in here, everybody. Guess where we're going with this? Wow, you like the network of the financial advisors, CPAs, and real estate agents. I happen to know a few of those, a few hundred. I happen to know a few of those. Would you mind if I went through my database and emailed you a few of them to you? What are they going to say? You do that for me? Sure, why not? Make myself a little note. That night or the next morning, I'm going to email them a couple names. So it was very nice to meet you. I think you might get along well with blah, blah, blah person. Somebody is going to say to me, how do you know if that person's of quality? They're just in your business card holder. If I have not done business with them, I'm going to tell them. Kelly, I want you to call Larry. Now, I don't know Larry very well, but he seemed like a very, very nice guy. I met him at a networking event. Give him a call. Use my name. Establish a relationship with him. That was a lead, right? But he gets to use my name when he calls. Maybe I know him really well, and I say, this is one of my best friends. Give this guy a call. Either way, I helped him figure out his power partners. I emailed him a couple names of people that I have met or that I know very well. I come into the next networking event, and there's Kelly. And I gave him a name last month, and that turned into business. Kelly is going to dive over the tables, push people out of the way. No. He's asked me, do you want me to do it now? No, I don't. I like that. Kelly is going to move mountains to come over and thank me, right? What did I do? I helped him. I made him money and I helped him. Did I ask him for business? No. 4, 5, 6 months of doing this, you are now covered in honey. And here come the bees. I walk into an event and people come up to me with their arm around somebody. This is the guy I've been telling you about. This is the best networker I've ever met in my life. He helped me so much with blah, blah, blah. People are saying, well, I don't network for a living. Well, guess what? How many of you here are self-employed? Self-employed. Guess what? I don't care if you have a salary or not, you're self-employed, because somebody can do the job better than you, you're going to be unemployed. So everybody in here is self-employed, trying to keep their job or build their business. Guess what? If you're not a good networker, I'm sorry to tell you this. If you're not a good networker, people are going to think you're horrible at what you do for a living. It's the bottom line. If you say you're going to do something and you don't, if you're dressed like a slob, food all over your face, stuff in your teeth, wine all over you, and you don't know what you're talking about, or you're walking up to people, I do plumbing. Here's my brochure. I do plumbing. Here's my brochure. Hey, good to see you. I do plumbing. Nobody cares. It's unprofessional. People are going to not do business with you. Whether you're the greatest plumber in the world, they don't care. You do what I'm teaching you now. In 2 or 3 months from now, people will only care about what you do. Because here's what happens. When I'm at that event, and we're going to back up, we're still at the first event, I got her card. That's very interesting. Carla, if I can introduce you to 3 people in any industry that can help you build your business, I write that down and I say, would you mind if I emailed a couple to you? Not at all. As the transition goes to my pocket, they're now going to do this. Now I'm Carla. They're going to go like this. What do you do? Why did they ask? Was that an icebreaker? No. They asked because they actually really care now. WIIFM got unplugged because when they ask me what I do, and I said I never talk about myself, I like to talk about you and find out what you do. WIIFM volume just went up and I let them go. And I let them go and go and go till the song ended. The song ended when I put the card in the pocket. I'm in control. The song ended when I put my card in my pocket. 50, 60, 70% of the time they're going to go, what is it that you do, Rick? I got them. They're on their toes. They're leaning forward. They may even pull a pen out for the first time in their life to take notes. I got them. And then I do my 8, 30, and 60 I just taught you guys. You guys have the outline. That's what you hit them with, okay? That's it. I don't give them a sales pitch. I'm not trying to get an appointment. But darn sure bet when they see my card the next day, they're going to remember me, especially if before they get to their office, there's an email from me on their email box. They're going to think this guy has the greatest follow-up I have ever seen. When I was in recruiting, a human resources manager would call them on the phone. And they'd say, we're not taking on any new vendors, call me in 6 months. And I'd call them in 5 months and 3 weeks. They'd say 3 more months, and I'd call them in 3 months. 2 more months, I'd call them in 2 months. The third or fourth time, I heard this more than a dozen times. Rick, you have got to be the best recruiter I have ever seen in my life, because I keep telling you to call me back and you keep calling me back. Can I ask you guys a question? What does how I return calls have to do with how I am as a recruiter? Has nothing to do with it, but everything to do with it. You guys go to a networking event, you throw up on people, and you tell them, verbally throw up. You're throwing your brochures at them, you tell them this stuff. They don't care because you have not earned, I want to make this very clear, you have not earned the right for them to listen to you yet. You make that clear? You're throwing brochures at them, you're telling them what you do, you have not earned the right for them to hear you yet. When you let them talk first and you take notes and show you care, when they ask you what you do, I can guarantee you they're going to hear every word because you earned the right for them to hear. You have got to step out of, if you have an ego about it, you got to step out of the ego. And I'm there for you, not for me. I'm there for you. I'm there to help you, and in return, I'm going to be helped later. You guys see where we're going with this? You help people, and it's going to come back. So before we go over how to get out of the conversation, I want to very quickly role play what we've done so far. We got out of the car and I said I'm going to see how many people I can help tonight. Before I left my office, I told myself I'm not going to leave till I have 20 cards. I want to get about 12 cards an hour. I'm going to walk into the event, my cards. Do not ever run out of cards. Bring so many cards. You guys should have so many cards in your car that you have a flat tire. I'm short of cards, whatever. No. Joe Girard, world's greatest salesman, is in the Guinness Book of World Records. I think he averaged, I can't remember the number anymore, and I apologize because it's on tape. He averaged somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 8 cars a day for 13 years. This is in the 70s. He would go to the Detroit Lions game, and every time the Detroit Lions scored a touchdown, he reached into a paper bag and take handfuls of cards and throw them into the crowd. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's greatest salesman. And the owner of the dealership would get upset with him for going through so many cards. So as he says, he goes, here I am making the owner of the dealership millions of dollars, and he's worried about 30 cents worth of cards. I got 2,500 cards for $250. That's a penny a card. A penny. That's a penny. People are in my leads groups go, well, I don't have enough cards. If you already have it, please don't take it. What? You should be walking with a case of cards. They should see so many of your cards. I don't need 30 of your cards. I only need 5. You should have so many cards. It should be crazy. Cards here. If you run out of cards, run to your house. I carry a backup wallet here. I carry a business card holder here. It's my gun belt. It's a tool. I'm going there to do battle. I'm going there to meet people, and my toolbox are my business cards, right? Actually, the business cards are the bullets. Here's my gun. You like that? Just made that up. Here's my bullets. So I'm going to role play what I do. Carla needs her card. Did I take it? Yes, I did. We're going to role play what we've done so far with the mentality I'm going there to help people, and then I'm going to stop, and we're going to get out of the conversation. All she has to do is ask me. All she has to do. If she doesn't ask me what I do, I'm going to ask her. Either way, I'm going to get it out of her. Now, if somebody always pipes up and says, what if after you say that, they won't tell you? I never talk about myself first. I want to hear other people. What if they don't say it? Then I'll just stand there. It's never happened, but if it does, I'll just stand there and go. I'm not going to get into a game with them, but sooner or later, they're going to tell me. They're going to feel uncomfortable. Ready, Carla? Put it down. Mine's right here. Put it down. So we're at an event. Carla's going to ask me what I do for a living. Where's the name badge? On the right. Carla, good to see you. You know what, Carla? I talk about myself all day long, and I really get tired of hearing about me. When I come to events like this, I want to meet people like you and see if I can help you and find out more about what you do. But before you tell me, would you happen to have a card? Thank you. There's mine. So what do you do? She's going to tell me what she does. Cool. Wow. From Dinosaur Bones, what's her, I forgot her line. I apologize. She does storage for attorneys' offices and museums. And what's your line?
I help people store anything from file folders to dinosaur bones.
That's right. And I'm going to write that down. That's one of the coolest taglines. I have a real estate agent, one of my other groups, that says, from condos to castles. Cool little tagline. From folders to dinosaur bones. That's cool because that's got me going, wow, that's kind of cool. What do you do? Well, we have these modular, and she's going to tell me I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to make you answer this. Carla, that's very interesting. If I could introduce you to 3 people in any industry that could help you build your business, what industries would they be in?
The legal field, the healthcare field.
Give them a chance to write if they're writing, which they won't be because they never are. Just no one's ever going to do this. Healthcare, go ahead.
Legal.
Uh-huh.
Education.
What are the titles of the people in the educational field?
It'll usually be the administrator.
Uh-huh.
In healthcare, it would be department heads.
Mm-hmm.
And in the legal field, it's usually the office manager.
Okay. Pretty cool, huh? That's really, really interesting, Carla. You know, I do a lot of networking, and I know a couple of attorneys, and I know one that just moved into a new location. No idea if she needs your help. Would you mind if I email her name to you? See where we're going? Cool. Tell you what, Carla, either tonight or tomorrow morning, I'll email you that person's name, and definitely you can use my name when you call them. Would you mind? I mean, will you think I'll help you build your business? And if she doesn't now go, what do? I'm going to say, just so you know, that I run a number of different networking groups, and based on what you told me, I have a feeling that maybe even movers and things, I have some movers in my groups. You might be interested in checking out one of our groups, but I'm not going to do a sales pitch here. I'll follow up with you later. Would that be okay? So now I'm ready to get out of the conversation because I'm done, okay? Who's in control? Who's the business owner? Who has to meet 12 people an hour? You ready? Get out your pens because we just did the spiel. I told her what I do, but I don't care about telling her about me because after I'm done helping her the next month, she's going to start bringing people over to me. Rick, what is it that you do again? Write this down. Ready? Networking is a marathon, not a sprint. If you want to sprint, place classified ads. This is a marathon. Networking is a marathon, not a sprint. We are now going to get out of this conversation. There's only a very few ways to do it. I'm going to tell you how to do it and how not to do it. Are you ready? Okay. When we get out of a conversation, there's a couple different ways to do it. I'm doing this for a reason, and you will see why. If you just started and you don't want to do any of the techniques I showed you, but you want to get away from them, you can cut right to this at any time you want. Anytime you want. You don't have to do, if I could introduce you to 3 people, because they're a piano instructor, okay? And you want to get out of the conversation right when you find out what they do. You don't want to ask them if I can introduce you to 3 people in any industry. You want to cut right to this, you can. You can take all these techniques and flush them down the toilet if you do what I'm about to read to you. Because I'm going to pull this book out, written by one of the top 1 or 2 networkers on the planet Earth, and that's by Dr. Ivan Meisner. He's the founder of BNI, for those of you that have heard of BNI. He's written 4 or 5 books on networking and word-of-mouth marketing. This book is called The World's Best-Known Marketing Secret, Building Your Business with Word-of-Mouth Marketing. Now, great book. If you do what I'm about to read to you and I find out, I'm going to throw up. Seriously, this is beyond anything that I can fathom would be ever be written in a book by somebody this famous. You ready? This is how he says to get out of a conversation. I'm reading this word for word. Learn to leave conversations gracefully. Honesty is usually the best policy. Tell them you need to connect with a few more people, sample the hors d'oeuvres, or get another drink. I'll read that again because some people reacted and some didn't. Learn to leave conversations gracefully. Honesty is usually the best policy. Tell them you need to connect with a few more people, sample the hors d'oeuvres, or get another drink. I'm going to pass out. That's in here. I just did this beautiful thing with Carla. I got Carla freaking out. I'm taking notes, telling her I'm going to introduce her to a new attorney in the area, and she might need her storage system. And then I'm going to go. Carla, it was really nice to talk to you. They just brought the hors d'oeuvres. I'm going to go get some food. Or there's my friend Jim. I'm going to go talk to Jim. Okay, now, I want you to, when you get home, I want you to take her card. I want you to flush it down the toilet. Because when she gets home, that's what she's going to do to your card. Your credibility is gone if you do what's in that book. Here are the hors d'oeuvres, and I'm going to take a sip of water. When I say Carla, I'm going to go try the hors d'oeuvres, which is exactly what it said in that book. I'm going to go try the hors d'oeuvres. Now, are you ready? There's Carla. There's the hors d'oeuvres. When I do that, who's more important? Or what's more important? Is she insulted? I have to go get a drink. I have to use the restroom. I have to go get some food. You have got to be kidding me. I'm telling you right now, there's maybe 1 or 2 people in the world, in my opinion, that know more about networking events than I do. I have done this. This isn't stuff I read. I've done this thousands of times. I'm telling you, this works. I will promise you, if you do what we're about to do, when I leave the conversation, you will feel so good about me. You'll feel better about me walking away from you than when I was standing there. Susan Rowan wrote a book called How to Work a Room. #1 bestseller. In there, she said, when you walk away from someone, you should move 1/4 to 1/2 to 3/4 of the room away so they're not insulted that you went to go talk to somebody else. Using what we're about to cover, I don't care if you turn right around and start talking to somebody, they're going to feel so good about you. It's not going to matter. We ready? Pens up. How to get out of a conversation. This is what I'm going to say. So Carla and I just did our whole spiel. We just did the whole thing. Carla, it was very nice to see you. Get ready to write. Because I'm done. I got what I needed. I got her power partners. That's all I wanted. Because I'm going to send her an email and thank her for her time. Carla, I know that your time is important. I know that your time is important. And I don't want to take any more of your time. And we're going to role play this. I know that your time is important. I don't want to take any more of your time. I know there are many people here that you want to meet. Now that's fully scripted out. It never comes out of my mouth like that. So I'm going to do it basically the way it comes out and the way I did it maybe 15, 18 times last night. We meet. She asks me what I do. I never talk about myself first. I always want to hear about you. I take her card. I make the notes. If I could introduce you to 3 people in any industry that could help you build your business, what industry would they be in? Fantastic. I know some people like that. Would you mind if I sent you an email with a couple people I know? If I don't know anyone, I'll send her an email saying, you know what, I went through my database. I don't think anybody in there, I don't think anybody's professional enough to do business with you or something. I'm going to put her on a bit of a pedestal. You say, I didn't meet anybody I thought would meet your criteria, but I'm going to keep my eye out for you. If I have names, I'm going to send her an email and send her some names. Carla, just so you know, you have my card. I'm in networking groups. I'd love to talk to you about it, but I don't want to take a lot of your time because I know your time is valuable, and sometimes I'll go like this. There's a lot of people here for you to talk to. I don't want to take your valuable time because I know you don't want to talk to me all night. Look at all these people. You want to go and talk to other people. So it was really good to see you, but I don't want to take any more of your time. And I'm going to turn around and I want to start talking to somebody else. Did I or did I not make her feel good? I don't want to waste any more of her time. So when I say I don't want to waste any more of your time, I know your time's important. There's a lot of people here I know you want to meet. Who's more important? She is, right? Okay, let's do this. Carla, it's nice to see you. I'm going to go get some hors d'oeuvres. Or Carla, I don't want to take any more of your time. I know your time is valuable. There's a ton of people here you need to meet. It was very nice to talk to you. I'm gone. Now, I don't have to move a quarter or a half or 3/4 of the way across the room because I did something that was insincere. Do you see the difference? So I can turn my back and talk to somebody else. She feels great. I listened. She thinks I'm the greatest whatever I am in the world because I listened and I took notes on the back of her card and I told her I don't want to waste her time. God, that guy's courteous. No, I just wanted to meet another person because I got to get 12 cars an hour. She doesn't know that. She thinks I'm the greatest networker and the greatest communicator on the planet. Okay? Woo! So, in the home stretch, examples of how to follow up after meeting: email, phone call, handwritten letter. I'm a right-handed guy. I do everything in the world right-handed except for write. I write left-handed. No one can read my writing, but I can type 80 words a minute. So I have a subscription to things like BlueMountain.com for $14 a year. Send unlimited cards through the internet. You get those little cards that sing to you and stuff, BlueMountain.com. I use those, or just regular email or make a phone call, because you could follow up after you with a phone call. You don't have to follow up with an email. You can call up and say, hey, I found that attorney. Would you like to take the notes now? So that's an example of how to follow up after the meeting. Other sources for leads. Do you see that where it says trade show booths? Now, I talked to a few of you about this because I saw you guys at a trade show booth. Cost Plus or Pier 1, it's about $4 for that. And I make a note right here. It's on a little piece of cardboard. And on that note, it says, please drop your card into the bowl for a chance to win to get on my newsletter. Don't care what it is. Write a book there. Or have a little tear sheet. Drop your card in here and check off what you like. Do you want my newsletter and the free gift? Do you want the free 20-minute consultation worth $150? Whatever it is, you ready to write? Write something else down right off the top of my head. You know, he who has the most toys wins. Sorry, not in this business. Ready? He who has the biggest database wins. Write that down. He who has the biggest database wins. Why do we want a database? What's the next one on the list? He who has the biggest database wins. Look at the next thing on the list. After trade show booths, it says newsletters. I want people to send a monthly little newsletter. Steve, could you or could you not send out, if you had a trade, saw you at a trade show, can I collect 20, 40, 50, 80, 100 business cards? Every time you do one, you're going to have 1,000 a year if you only did one a month, right? 1,000 cards. Have your assistant scan those in, and once a month, the Steve Hom Minute. There's got to be trends on insurance that you know that people don't know. Rates going up, rates going down. House burnt down, here's what happened, here's how we could fix that. Give them something to chew on every month, a paragraph. The Steve Hom Minute, I meet insurance agents. I met a gentleman that's a franchise attorney, and every month I get a little piece of information about franchising and corporate law. Sometimes it's cool, sometimes I throw it out, but he sent one recently and I was like, interesting. But every time I see him, I go, I really appreciate the newsletter. If I ever needed a patent and or franchise attorney, I get the guy's in my face every month. You got to do newsletters. It's the same as speaking. You're an expert. Does that give you a good idea? The Steve Hom Minute, if you make money off of that, I want a little piece of that. But you need to come up with something and then send them. Don, probably one of the top graphic artists anywhere. I mean, they tell me Don can't every month send an email out. Don does the whole Stanford sporting brochure. What's it called? I apologize. The media guide. It's this thick. He does the whole thing. He can't send out a couple sample photos of what he's done. Check these cool pictures out. Now, it's kind of a little promoting himself a little bit. Maybe throw a little bit of, there it is right there. throw out a little bit of free information. I did this in blah, blah, blah program. There, you gave him a little bit of cool information, showed him the photo. Here's he sent me a picture of his son climbing a rock wall at a gym. He converted that into his son climbing the Alps. He sent me the before and the after, right? You could do that. Look at this cool picture. Look what we just recently did, and we did this in Photoshop or whatever. These are the kind of things we do. But it's a cool little thing. Something to show you're an expert. So, but where are you going to get the people? You're going to go to trade shows. You're going to collect business cards. You go to networking events. You go to networking events, and you're going to collect cards. Cards. This is gold. Write this down. Another one. Magic. Your net worth. Your net worth is your network. Your net worth. Your net worth is your network. You don't know anybody. Yeah, it's already been written, I think, but it probably hasn't. But your network is your net worth. Now, if you don't know anybody, how much money you're probably making? People that you know that know a lot of people, think about it. The people you know that make a lot of money, they're probably pretty well known. Seminars, here we are at one right now. Make sure you recognize expert. Leads and referral groups, a little shameless plug for me, but you all of you already know that I do leads and referral groups. Public relations, that's if somebody sends your information out, you write a little article, and it gets sent out to periodicals like the San Ramon Chamber of Commerce. They asked me to write an article. I look like an authority that went out to 4,000 or 5,000 companies. I did it for free. So people that do PR, getting your name mentioned in articles that is recognized experts, another really good way to get leads. And then write articles and post them, or write the articles and email them out and let people know about trends that are coming up. With that, are there any questions? Do any of you have any questions? Anything at all? Questions? Yes, sir.
About testimonials, if you ask clients to give you a testimonial, how long should the testimonial be? Should you say 3 sentences, a paragraph?
The way we got them, it would say something to the effect of, I'm going to answer it in a roundabout way. When we got them, it would say something to the effect of, we just recently did business with Steve Hom, and it was a painless experience. I highly recommend it. Or I've been doing business with Steve Hom for 3 years. We finally got in a car accident, or our house finally accidentally burnt down, and he said they had quick response, and they did. I'm so happy I'm with Steve Hom Insurance, and a photo of them in front of their burnt down house or the crashed car or whatever. It depends on what type of sale. If you're doing high-end selling networking equipment and it's $1 million pop, that might be a 3-page testimonial. It's probably not going to be 2 sentences. But if it's a lower-end ticket or not as sophisticated a ticket, I like a couple sentences. If you guys have seen my website, I have 6 or 7 pages of testimonials with 5 or 6 per page, right to the point. I want a lot of them, so I want them to be short and sweet, 2 or 3 sentences. Any other questions? Yes, sir?
I have a question. When you're in a conversation with someone with a networking event, the third person just comes and barges right in, doesn't even recognize that we're talking, just starts blurting out. How do you handle that?
So they're not gonna walk up and ask what you do. I'm having a conversation with Carla. You bust in. I'm always gonna be on the side of, I'm gonna back up and I'm gonna let you verbally do whatever you're doing. 80% of the time you're gonna be gone in a couple seconds. But if I want you there, I'm gonna hit you with some questions after you verbally throw up on me and you tell me all the stuff you do. I'm gonna say, it's very interesting, Bill. You're a plumber. I'm gonna still hit you with some questions after you verbally throw up on me and you tell me all the stuff you do. I'm gonna say, it's very interesting, Bill. You're a plumber. What are the types of businesses you get your referrals from? And you're going to say, well, real estate agents and mortgage brokers. I'm going to look around real quick. I'm going to go, have you met Don before? Don's a real estate agent. I wonder if over time he could refer business to you. And I'm still going to do it, just I'm not going to spend the time. But I'm going to introduce you to a power partner real quick, and then I'm going to go back to what I was doing.
If it's the person that takes so much time that the person you were talking to just got exasperated.
That happens. That does happen. And then you try not to let people control you. But sometimes they're going to come over so much, and you're going to be trying to, well, is this guy going to finish? And then Carla gets away. I'm either going to interrupt. Hopefully not. Hopefully he'll be finished. I'm going to go, that's really you know what? That's so interesting what you do, Bill, that you're a plumber. I don't want to take any more of your time. You better go start telling other people about that. I'm going to go find Carla. I mean, it's offensive when people do that, but people do it. The other thing that's offensive is at trade shows. If you go to a trade show, Kelly's shaking his head because I saw it by a few people. If I have a trade show booth and you're going to walk up to me at my booth that I paid for and hand me your stuff, that probably happened to you, both of you, at your booth. You guys paid $300 for a booth, and somebody's going to walk up to you and go, hi, here's my brochure. What gives her the right to hand you anything? She didn't pay for the booth. It's disrespectful. I take that, and that is just, it's offensive. When you're at a trade show, if I'm at the trade show, I'm getting their information, and I'm not going to bother them or take their time unless they go, Rick, I heard of you. You're you're that leads group guy. And then maybe I'll talk a little bit, but I'll still cut it off and say, I'm not here to do a sales pitch. When you paid for the booth, I'm still going to make them important. And I'm going to call them later, and he's going to respect me for doing that. But if I have the booth, I'm not doing sales pitches. I'm getting the person's card, or I'm having a form here. Kelly, you're at my booth, and I have 20 different things I do, and I'm going to have a form. Kelly, I don't want to waste a lot of your time. I'm the booth guy, and I would do this. Kelly, I don't want to waste a lot of your time because I know there's a lot more booths here you need to visit. Same thing as a networking event. There's a lot more people here you need to visit. There's a lot more booths you need to visit. Here's a list of what I do. Why don't you write your name down and your phone number and check off what you'd like me to call you about? Why would I want to have a 20-minute conversation with somebody at my booth? I have it later, not at the booth. The booth's there for 3 hours. Kelly's going to be at his office for the next 3 years. Call him anytime. So I want to get out of a conversation. I know there's a lot more people. Trade show. I know there's a lot more booths you need to visit. You don't want to waste your time with me. Any more questions? Okay, we're going to close with this. The 6 most important words in networking. Write this down. There's nothing more important than this. The 6 most important words in sales or in networking. You ready to write? Follow up, follow up, follow up. The 6 most important words are follow up, follow up, follow up. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching the video. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. If you have any sales or networking or referral generation ideas or videos you'd like me to cover, just place it in the comments below. There should be 2 more videos right about here somewhere for you to watch. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon. Keep on networking.